Off in the distance, in the most northern part of France, is a place that seems larger than life. It's a place that most have only read about in history books, and it doesn't seem real. Even when you see it with your own eyes, you still won't believe it because it seems almost magical. But when you set foot on Mont Saint Michel, it will serve as a bridge from everyday life to life in the past. What's up? Today I have an awesome video for you. It's a long one. In fact, it's so long I had to break it into 3 parts. In this video, we go to France to visit Mont Saint Michel, which is an amazing place. It serves so many roles. It was a church, it was a hospital, it was a fort or a castle, it was a prison. It was all these things, and there's so much to see, so much so that I had to break it down into 3 parts. So let's get into the first part and check it out. Mont Saint Michel is located out in the countryside in the northern part of France. It's nestled between the bay and vast farmland. In fact, I would argue that its location is what makes this place so magical. The scenery definitely serves as a dramatic backdrop. When I got here, the first thing that ran through my head was, where do I start? Because there's so much to see, and I'm the type of guy that wants to see everything. So, to keep it simple, I decided to start on the outside and work my way in. That meant I would need to walk the perimeter. Now, it's important to note that they say walking on the sand can be dangerous. Allegedly, there's quicksand, although I saw no trace of it. Depending on the tide and the time of year, this area could be completely submerged underwater. It's not an ideal place to get stuck, but in case you do get stuck, make sure you hit the subscribe button so you'll at least have some awesome videos to watch while they dig you out. The sand seems to extend out for miles, and it's not like the normal sand you would find at a beach. This sand closely resembles mud, so it's easy to imagine that there are some places out there where you could get stuck. To say the least, Mont Saint Michel is impactful when you look at it from this vantage point. It was here where things that I read in my history books really came to life. I mean, prior to coming here, I had never been to a medieval castle. I know a lot of people like to use this word, but it was definitely surreal. This is a pretty cool experience. I'm walking in the bay of Mont Saint Michel, which you can see in the background. Yeah, it's kind of mucky over here. Shoes are very dirty. I'm gonna have to clean them off. The only pair of shoes I brought with me, so definitely don't want to get on an airplane with these muddy shoes. That'll be an embarrassment. But I saw everybody else walking in here. I couldn't resist. It was a temptation that I couldn't resist, but it's totally worth it. It's a cool experience. But look at this area. It's like a desert wasteland, as you can see. Kind of lost control of the camera there. But look, there's like nothing out there. Next, it was time to walk alongside the walls and examine the ramparts. The walls of the castle are relatively low. I'm told that was primarily because they wanted to reduce exposure to the revolutionary invention of the cannonball. I guess these mighty walls didn't fare very well when pitted against a cannon. Here, I got my first glimpse of the village, which seemed to tower over me. I continued to walk the perimeter of the castle as the ground became muddier. As high as the walls seem to be when you're looking up from the ground, you don't get the same sense when you're at the top. It was amazing walking around this magnificent structure. The farther I went, the fewer people I would see, and the walls seemed to get higher. Could you imagine attempting to scale these walls in the midst of battle? And with each step, the height of the walls grew exponentially. Seeing this place, I couldn't help but think of Game of Thrones. I can't imagine how long it took to build such a magnificent structure. As I made my way towards the back of Mont Saint Michel, I noticed a small building in the distance. I was curious to see what it was. These algae-covered rocks are beautiful. It's not slippery either, like the normal algae that I'm used to. This one is kind of mossy, kind of moldy, looks like it has some structure. It's not slippery and slick and slimy. But anyway, I'm going to head over to this building, see what that's about. So I'm going to go explore that. So, while you watch me scramble over these rocks, now is a good time to hit the subscribe button so you can check out more awesome videos. Go ahead, don't pay any attention to me. I'm just busy trying not to break either one of my bad ankles. And since we're on a roll and I haven't finished scrambling over these rocks yet, why don't you go ahead and click the like button and share with some homies. I appreciate you. And now back to the show. I got this area marked off for some reason. I don't know why, but apparently they don't want you to go in here. It's like there's some structure here at one point, but now I don't know, it's marked off, so we're going to move on. Pressing on, I encountered some stairs that led up to a building behind Mont Saint Michel. It seemed like a strange place to have a small building. Unless you walked around to the back, you would never know that this place was here. I climbed the stairs with curiosity to see what was inside this mysterious building. The gray skies and howling wind gave the whole scene a creepy feel to it, but that didn't stop me from exploring. As I got closer, the building began to take on the form of a church, which led me to ask why they would build such a small church behind the magnificent Mont Saint Michel. A quick peek inside revealed an altar along with the painting. My eyes aren't that great, but I think the painting was of Mary. The door was locked and I couldn't get in, so I quickly moved on. I continued my walk around the structure. I had spent about 2 hours here and I still hadn't gone inside Mont Saint Michel. Thought I was going to have to go around the entire fort or city, but apparently there's a back entrance into the city, so rather than walking this mud, I'm going to take the back entrance because my shoes are filthy. The back entrance to Mont Saint Michel doesn't seem to get a lot of traffic. I'm not sure how many tourists venture out into these parts. I wonder what these things are for. It's a nice solid piece of metal to shackle something to. I have no idea what this is for. I'll try to find out when I get home. I made my way into the back of the city. There was clearly nobody in the area. The entrance led me to a road that seemed to head to the Abbey. That seemed like the direction I wanted to go, so I simply followed the road. The road had a relatively steep incline.
It's got some incredible views here. Wow.
I continued to follow the road which headed towards the Abbey. While I walked, I took in the spectacular views of the bay. You could see for miles around. Shortly thereafter, I got my first good look at the Abbey. It looked like a massive cathedral. Mont Saint Michel was built essentially on top of a rock, and the Abbey is its crown because it was built at the summit. Finally, I arrived at the base of the Abbey. I walked towards the entrance, but before doing so, I took a moment to take in the grandeur of Mont Saint Michel. The track you see in the middle of the screen was once used to usher supplies into the Abbey, but it was replaced with a new system which is much more efficient. Continuing my quest, I headed towards the entrance. One thing is certain when you come to Mont Saint Michel, you can expect to climb a lot of stairs and walk up a lot of hills. It's a great way to stay in shape. I was just about at the summit, and with it came the rewards of awesome views of the countryside. And I started to get a glimpse of the village down below. As I mentioned before, there's a lot to see at Mont Saint Michel, and it was late in the afternoon by the time I got to this point. Because of that, I decided to save a visit to the Abbey and village for another day. Those areas are covered in part 2 and 3 of this video, so be sure to check them out. By this time, I was just about ready to call it a day, so I started to make my way back to the hotel. But before doing so, I took in some of the amazing views.
Man, the view just gets better and better here. It's incredible.
The height of the Abbey will leave you awestruck as you take in the view. It's simply amazing. Looking onto the countryside, you can see for miles as you stare at what appears to be a desert wasteland. At certain times of the year, this land is completely submerged in water. On my way out, I skirted around the village and walked the ramparts. There's so much to see in the village itself that it warrants its own video, so be sure to check out part 3 of Mont Saint Michel. Walking the ramparts made me imagine what it would be like to be someone guarding this fortress as the enemy shot cannons and arrows at you. That had to be intense. While I make my way back towards the exit, if you like this video and you want to see more exciting adventures, please click the subscribe button. Here I got some amazing views of the village and Abbey. There were also cool little restaurants where you could take your meal on their patio. I could just imagine soldiers taking cover as they fire arrows out windows just like these. It seems like it would be difficult because your view is restricted. Mont Saint Michel has plenty of amazing courtyards just like this one where you can sit, relax, and take in the view. So in the first part, I basically went around the perimeter of Mont Saint Michel and visited the outside parts, but I didn't actually go into the Abbey. If you want to see the Abbey, check out the second part, because that's what I'm going to, in that video, I'm going to feature the actual Abbey. If you like this video, please subscribe and hit the like button to help out the algorithm. I greatly appreciate it. Good job.